Welcome to the Vault Studios NFL podcast, an Australian twist on all things NFL. The boys are cracking into a nice cold beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's join them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, JA, and I'm joined by the great man who doesn't have a moustache, Richard Garraway. How are you?
I do have a moustache. It's just covered by the rest of my beard.
No, that makes it a full beard.
I could turn it into a moustache, but I don't think I will. I reckon I'd look pretty bad. That wife is shaking her head viciously at me. Definitely not doing it.
Well, there's only one reason I've kept mine. It's because I've got the approval of my wife, which is unbelievable.
Oh, there you go.
I know. Yeah. Unbelievable, Richie. So we've got a pretty loaded show tonight. As usual, Rich, the NFL just delivers like it does every single week.
I think the Red Zone channel had to go, like I've seen quad box before. They had to go to 6. They had to go to 6 box during the witching hour this weekend, so pretty wild.
It was absolutely unbelievable. And I was all over the Colts and they go and lose to the Raiders. And now the Raiders play the Chargers next week and whoever wins it gets in. It's absolutely mental. So, yeah, here's what it is. This is what the NFL's great for. It's why we love it. Before we get into it, I want to thank our sponsors, Burnley Brewing, Dark Horse Electrics, and, of course, US Sports Gear. Get around all three of our sponsors. We're going to do our Patreon wheel spin right now. We are spinning for the Deshaun Watson Chrome Blue helmet. It's an absolute ripper of a lid. So, good luck. I'll get it up on the screen now. Here it is. I'll remove the banners. How do I do that again? Where are we? Boom. And I'll give it a spin. Obviously, first prize is the first selection of either the helmet or a box of beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's spin it and see who we get. Hayden Ellis, long-time friend of the show. Big Hayden Ellis was the corpse, as I like to call him. Well done, mate. You'll get first pick. And let's see who gets second pick. Dylan. So I think this is now month 3 where Dylan's won something in a row. That's how lucky he's been. Now, I don't know if he'll be lucky enough to get the helmet this time. Last time he came second, he got the second pick. The first person picked the beer. So he actually got the helmet. So, yeah, very exciting. I will get in contact with both of them. I'll see my good man Dylan. Obviously, Dylan from Dark Horse Electrics, if you didn't know, everyone. So, yeah, that's who that is. Well done, Hayden and Dylan. I'll be in contact. Guys, next month, I said it was an absolute ripper. It is a ripper. It might just be more for me than some other people. This is a Randy White, Dallas Cowboys, matte blue with the Hall of Fame signature. Defensive end for the Cowboys in their, Super Bowl runs. Absolute superstar player. Get around it. It's the Eclipse, so it's dark, it's black with the logo, so it's just a little bit of a different style. It's an absolute ripper, and that's thanks to Jake and Darren from J&D's Breaks Down Under. So thank you very much, boys. Make sure you get in and support their page, join in with all their stuff, and go from there. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you to the rest of our Patrons for being involved. We absolutely love you, and it goes a long way to helping the show. So we do really, really appreciate it. But Richie, let's crack into some Antonio Brown talk.
Where do you want to start?
If you haven't seen, I'll give a bit of a recap of what happened. I didn't get up early to watch the games this morning, so I woke up and it was just after halftime, and I was watching the Bucks, and I thought Antonio Brown's not out there. And then obviously, as soon as I got on social media, there it is. He had some sort of a tantrum. No one knows what about on the sideline. He took his gear off. This is, mind you, in the middle of the game while the offense were on the field. He took his gear off, threw his pads off, took his undershirt off, threw it into the stands, threw his gloves into the stands, walked across the middle of the field, getting the crowd to cheer for him. He looked like a streaker. That's what it looked like. He was then in the end zone yelling, giving the peace sign for everyone, and then walked out of the game through the tunnel. And that was it. That was the last we saw of him for the day. Absolutely insane. He's lost it. 100% lost it.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I feel like his career has just been in a downward spiral ever since that week 17. where he was basically sat down by the Steelers, and then he met with Rooney in the off season, and yeah, they worked out that they would trade him or release him. I honestly can't remember what. I think he was traded to the Raiders.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, I think they gave up like a 3rd and a 5th round pick for him or something.
He got paid big money. He might have been cut. I'm not sure it was that long ago. But then there was that disaster where he wouldn't change his helmet. He had a meltdown about his helmet.
He also had frostbite on his feet or whatever that was.
Then he got cut. Then he had the incident with his trainer at the gym, which is I'm not going to even bring up. It's freaking horrific. He then gets back in the league. He's squeaky clean. He gets cut by the Patriots after a couple of weeks for doing something else. Then he has an off season, gets himself together, signs with the Bucks, and goes and wins the Super Bowl with them. And been squeaky clean until this season, where he faked his vaccination card and then got suspended for 3 games. Now, you're allowed to play in the NFL if you're unvaccinated. There's just, if you get it,
there's different rules.
Yeah,
different rules here.
So it's not like he couldn't play. It seems like an outrageous thing to fake your vaccination. Everyone's going to say, well, Aaron Rodgers did it. Aaron Rodgers didn't do it. The club knew, everyone knew he was unvaccinated. He just worded it to the media differently. That was the difference. But then, yeah, there's a full meltdown. Bruce Arians has come out and said that's it. He won't be on the team anymore. I guess from a team perspective, though, this is devastating for the Bucks. He's been playing really well, and Godwin's out for the season with an ACL. You kind of need him on offense.
Yeah, big time. Evans was back this week, but the rest of that receiving corps, I haven't even heard of them.
Scotty Miller's the only one.
And he's been nicked up this year. So, we got Perryman back in, and then he got hurt as well. So it's, they big time needed him. By all accounts, Bruce Arians said he's tried to send him in a few times. He didn't want to or refused to. That is between the two of them. We're not going to find that out anytime soon. And then he said, all right, well, I'm having done with you. Just get out of here. And that was where it all started. I mean, this vision of Mike Evans and O.J. Howard trying to basically talk him off the ledge. Yep. But he was done. And this is the actions of someone who doesn't want to play football anymore. It's as simple as that. People who want to draw a bow towards, mental health and CT and all the rest of it. I mean, you can do that, but and that's the thing. Everyone's got that friend who's just, well, not even friend, but everyone knows that person who is just unhinged. They overreact to silly things and all that sort of stuff. And he's just that guy. And I kind of feel like it all goes back to that Vontaze Burfict hit where he literally tried to destroy his soul. Ever since then, he's just been a different guy. And as I said, I'm not trying to draw anything to it either, but that just strikes me as the last time he was kind of acting like a relatively normal human being. Now I have no idea what's going on. He's had... Sorry?
Did the Steelers just keep it under wraps better?
Oh, and there's every chance. There's every chance this is always how he's been, and Mike Tomlin could get through to him and could get him ready every week and all the rest of it. And we won't know that stuff unless Tomlin tells us, and he's not going to. No. So I really feel like this guy's career is over. I just can't see any team taking a chance on him now. He's had so many. I mean, this guy didn't want to go in. He was a touchdown short of a bonus. He was 50 yards short of a different bonus, and he was like 8 catches short of another bonus. He probably would have got all those this week and next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the actions of somebody who's, in a great place right now. I mean, I hope for his sake he sorts it out, but he's done some pretty awful stuff over his life. So I don't feel bad for this guy in any way. But it hurts my team. No two ways about that.
That's the thing. I think that's the biggest thing. We're going to talk playoffs a bit later. But yeah, it's bad. It's really bad at the moment. So good luck to Antonio Brown. Hopefully something comes his way. But yeah, eventually this stuff just becomes a bit too much for people. Let's talk about guys whose career is not ending. We need to talk about Joe. And that Joe is Joe Burrow. Second most yards in a 2-week span. Goes in, beats the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get the bad out of the way, Rich. I said to you today, I know you're at the zoo, so you didn't see it. Did you go back and watch the end of that game, what they tried to do?
No, I don't know how that game ended.
It's perfect then. This is great because I'm going to explain it to you. 31 all. All right. Under a minute left, 30 seconds left, something like that. They get down to the first and goal. They run 3 plays. There's about 30 seconds left. And they then decide, tied, 31 all, the Bengals decide they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Instead of kicking a field goal to take the lead.
Kick a chip shot to take the lead. So they run this play. It was a stretch out to the left. Mixon, I think he scored. I think if they reviewed it, he scored, but there was offsetting penalties. So they get another opportunity. So they go for it again.
Oh, God.
This time they pass it. They boot.
Didn't they learn their lesson?
No, they boot out. They pass it. Incomplete pass. Another penalty. One of the softest penalties you will ever see on the Kansas City Chiefs. He went to jam the receiver at the line of scrimmage and caught him in the face mask. He did. They called hands to the face penalty. Bengals get a 1st down. Joe Burrow gets hurt on the play. He's fine. Apparently he's all right, but hurts his knee on the play. And then they then kneel it out and kick a field goal as time expires. But what? My question is, why the fuck don't you just kick a field goal with 30 seconds left? I know it worked out for you, but it only worked out for you because of penalties. And then you could drain the clock and kick it with time expired. But with 30 seconds left, you can't be that scared of Patrick Mahomes. You just don't kick a field goal. You have to.
And whether it's Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady, whatever, they're famous for doing it to you, but you still have to do the smart football thing, which is
take the lead,
field goal, take the lead.
Oh.
This isn't going for it, in overtime when there's not much time left, or you're going for 2 when your kicker's hurt.
Yeah,
this is silly. Kick field goal, take the lead, crazy. But good on them. They won the North with that, didn't they?
Yeah, it was awesome. And we'll talk playoffs later. But I just think Joe Burrow, this just shows what getting a guy does. It just shows it. It makes this team. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league. Their O-line's bad. I wanted them to take Penei Sewell, but Jamar Chase is now locked up offensive rookie of the year. He had 300 and something yards.
Amazing.
He was just unstoppable. 11 catches, 3 touchdowns. He was just the difference on the field. They've got a great receiving group. Again, their O-line's terrible. That's why he's been sacked 51 times, but that's something they can try and fix in the future. The bottom line is that Joe Burrow is a bona fide superstar. And
the thing,
I'm all in on him.
I was just going to say, the thing about that, though, is you can talk about how they've fixed their entire team in 2 drafts.
Yeah, and some good free agents like that Hendrickson from the Saints, who I didn't think was that good. I thought he was kind of a 1-year wonder. He's not. He's been really good edge rusher for them. They've made some great moves. You're right.
There's
and then
people
you quarterback and they're home.
In the last 2 years, people are saying they've basically gone 10 for 10. All their draft picks play for them.
Yep.
There's barely a whiff in there. It just really shows when you get it really, really right how quickly it can all turn around. As you said, they've got a terrible O-line, and you and I are always talking about fix the O-line, fix D-line, and then nobody else has to be as good. They've almost gone the other way, where if you want to go back 3 drafts, you can say, okay, well, Joe Mixon, and then obviously Burrow.
They did take Jonah Williams in the first round, he's been a good left tackle. Not great. I think there's probably better people in that draft, but yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. But yeah, he's been injured. He was injured his rookie year and coming back from a knee injury second year. He's getting better. He's certainly not a bust. They've done well.
But then adding Chase last year, but then in the second round they got Jackson Carman. I've got it up here. Then Joseph Ossé, Cameron Sample. I mean,
they've nailed some guys.
Their front office has done a really, really good job. And in that division, looking at a changing of the guard, it was the Browns.
Yeah.
That we were thinking we're going to take that. But now it's looking like the generational quarterback in that entire division is not You know,
It's not Lamar. It's not
Lamar.
Not Baker. Looks like it's Joe Burrow.
It's going to be Joe Burrow. And yeah, there'll be Browns fans in the car. You've got to be fucking kidding me. We've just done all this good work. They've hired such good people, had really good drafts, and then you got this guy at the other end of the state, literally at the other end of the state, doing this to you. So, I think the Ravens have fallen in a complete heap. Browns are obviously were eliminated today. Tomorrow's game now is just to basically annoy the Steelers. No one had Cincinnati winning this division. No one.
We both had them last. I had them last comfortably. I didn't even have to be good at all. So
me too.
Good on them. A little bit of a fun one before we get into some playoff stuff. Did you see the stadium collapse when Jalen Hurts? Oh my god!
Okay, first off, this was not a stadium collapse.
Stadium collapse.
A non-permanent barrier came down. I feel for him. Someone could have got really hurt.
Instead, they just got a photo with Jalen Hurts, and I had to laugh. In the video, they show there's three of them that are like, he puts his arm around him. He's like, let's get a photo. Everyone's all right. And then there's one guy that just looks like the biggest fucking moron you'll ever see that's just chewing his ear off. And you just imagine when he say, "Oh, you're such a fucking legend, Jalen. I love you. You've changed our franchise. God, I love you." And then probably if you look back 2 weeks ago, he's the one that's tweeting, "Oh, Gardner Minshew's way better quarterback. We've got to get him on the field." He just looks like a complete nothing. And I couldn't stop laughing at it. I'm glad everyone didn't get hurt, and it was pretty funny. And good on Jalen Hurts for not running away or not being terrified and being a bit of a dick about it. He just helped him up straight away and showed that he was a pretty genuine dude, which I did enjoy. I like seeing the human side of guys. That was good to see. And the dude in his ear, I couldn't stop laughing at him. It was like, I know what he's saying.
He was lucky he was high-fiving the people to his right and not the people to his left, because it was the left that collapsed. I mean, he could have got seriously hurt if that had gone wrong.
Yeah, 100% he could have. Wow. He didn't. And, we'll get into some playoff stuff, but yeah, Eagles had a good day. Let's start though. Let's start over in the AFC. So basically, what I thought we'd do. Obviously, there's 1 week left. The first time we ever have a week 18 season, which I don't know. There's not many games that matter, so it kind of proves the point that what was the point of extending the season? I'm all for more football, so you're not going to get an argument from me. But if we look at the AFC, we've got the Titans are the number 1 seed right now. They've clinched their division. The Chiefs are the number 2 seed. They've clinched their division. The Bengals have clinched their division at the 3 seed. And the Bills have clinched playoffs, but not the division. They are tied with the Patriots, who are the 5 seed, and the Bills, who are the 4 seed. And then for your next spots, you've got the Colts that had just a terrible loss to the Raiders. And then you've got the Chargers and the Raiders. Apparently the Ravens and the Steelers are still live. I don't really understand how. I don't know how the Ravens get in, because they're 8-8.
The thing that makes me laugh the most is Miami's technically eliminated, and they're the 10 seed. The Ravens are still alive, and they're the 11 seed right now. I don't know how that works, but that's certainly the situation right now.
The Raiders and the Colts play next week. If the Colts lose to not the Raiders.
No, the Raiders and the Colts played this week.
The Ravens and the Colts played this week. No, Raiders played the Colts. The Ravens are playing the Rams next week. No, they lost to the Rams today.
No, they played to them today.
Hasn't changed over yet. I'll get my next week's schedule up. Because I was looking at it before. The Ravens play next week against the Steelers. So if they win and the Colts lose, they get in. I would say that's how it works.
The Steelers have to win out, because remember, they've still got to play the Browns tomorrow.
Now, I'm just going to put this to bed right now. Colts play the Jags next week. Do you see any world them losing to the Jags after an upset loss to the Raiders this week?
No.
I don't see it happening. I think we can lock in. They're going to be the 6th seed, and we lock that in. The Jaguars are dog shit. They're worse than they were at the start of the season. They've given up too.
It's not unless the entire team gets COVIDed out.
I think they win comfortably next week over the Jags. I'm comfortable saying the Colts are going to be in there. The Patriots, obviously the 5. Whoever wins next week, you've got the Bills play Patriots play the Dolphins. Dolphins are now eliminated, which sucks. They lost today, which I think it kind of showed what they were. It was a fun run. 7 games in a row was awesome. But again, you can't afford to lose. You can't afford to go 7-1 in your first 8 games. Simple as that. You just can't do it in the NFL. It's near impossible to make it from there.
Can't lose to the Jags in London. Simple as that.
No, you can't. And then you've got the Buffalo Bills play the Jets at home. So I said they lost to the Jets earlier in the season. I don't think there's any way they lose to the Jets again. Although the Jets almost did your Bucks in today, which was interesting. They're playing better, the Jets.
I would expect both teams to win and no change to their seedings.
The only thing I could see the Patriots losing to the Dolphins, but they did lose to them week 1, and they tend to split. So I think the Patriots will win that game. Dolphins got nothing to play for other than making the Patriots be the 5 seed instead of the 4 seed. So
it's not enough. It's not like you can win and keep them out.
No, but what that gives us is if they both win, we then get Patriots and Bills in the first game. So obviously the Bills can jump up to the 1 seed in the AFC as well. Like every game matters next week. The Bengals play. I think the Bengals play someone okay as well. Bengals play the Browns. I would expect the Bengals to win that. I don't think the Browns got nothing. Will have nothing left to play for. And what was the other team? The Chiefs play. They'll play someone in their division, no doubt. If I can find it. Oh, the Chiefs play the Broncos. They'll win that game. Broncos are dreadful. Drew Lock, dreadful. So they'll win that. And then the Titans, good on the Titans. We were off the Titans a couple of weeks ago. And you know what? They just keep finding a way to win. They beat the Dolphins. So good on them. They get the Texans. So I expect them to beat the Texans. I genuinely think all the top 5 seeds in the AFC, one of them probably loses that we don't predict, but I would expect all those top 5 teams to win and that to remain the same. I expect the Colts to win and then the 6 seed will remain the same. And then we get something really fun, which the Raiders, who have been flexed to the night game, they've been flexed to the Sunday night game, so Monday here, which is awesome. They will play each other. Raiders and Chargers will play each other, and whoever wins that game makes the playoff. So after all this, the Raiders have an opportunity to make the playoffs still, which I just think would be insane. It would be insane if they made the playoffs.
With everything that's happened around that team this year, it would be amazing. Now, for my picks, I hope that's not what happens.
I want the Chargers in too. I think the playoffs are better with the Chargers in it.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Did I read it right? Is there 2 Saturday games?
Yeah. The
next
Cowboys
week?
They're the two dead rubbers. Well, actually, technically, the Chiefs-Broncos game isn't a dead rubber. All the Eagles have clinched now. But yeah, Chiefs-Broncos, and Cowboys at Eagles.
Because the number 1 seed in the AFC is still up for grabs, correct?
Yes.
So obviously the Chiefs will desperately want to win that.
Yeah, 100%. Every game's active next week because there's movement. The only team that is locked up is the NFC. The Packers have locked the number 1 seed up. That's the only team that's locked up a spot.
I mean, they're playing the Lions, so they're just going to lock it up even harder unless they rest everybody.
They will rest everyone next week. They won't. Why would you bother going against a tough Lions team? They play pretty hard. I wouldn't even bother with it, to be honest.
There's so many games in the 5 a.m. Australia time window
that matter.
That will have any game that has any sort of outcome. It is slated into that window. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 games in that window. So anyone, the basic can kind of affect each other, except for the 2 West Coast games, and they've beautifully got those at the same time too. So the Rams. We'll talk about the NFC in a minute, but the Rams and the Cardinals games are being played at the same time as well. Yep. So they can't scoreboard watch or know the outcome before it actually happens.
No. All right. Anything else you want to touch on from the AFC? I think other than the Raiders and the Chargers, those... Oh, we've lost him. Back. What happened then? Lost you for a few seconds. Apologies, everyone. I'll cut that out, but I definitely won't. It was only 10 seconds, so just sorry. AFC, I think it'll pretty much stay the same. I can't see the Colts falling out, losing to the Jags. If they do, that's just a disaster. And then the other one's Chargers and Raiders. So we'll just see who wins it. Prediction: I think the Chargers will win it personally.
Where is that game? I haven't looked yet.
It is at the Raiders.
It's at Raiders.
At the Death Star.
Look, the Chargers are a better team. They've had some COVID issues. If they're healthy, they should go through. But that place will barely have a Chargers fan in it. It will be silver and black through and through.
You just like playing at home.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be really, really interesting to see who comes out of that. But as I said, the Chargers are the better team, but we'll see.
It's a playoff game, basically. Winner.
100%. It's elimination.
Be very exciting to see. Let's go over to the NFC. I will quickly run through. As I said before, Packers have clinched the 1 seed. You've got the Rams in the 2 seed, the Bucks in the 3 seed, Cowboys in the 4 seed, Cardinals are the 5 seed, have clinched playoffs, and the 6 seed is the Eagles, who have also clinched the playoffs. So Packers are number 1. They're going to have a bye. So Packers fans, they're going to enjoy basically 3 weeks without meaningful football or any football, because they're going to rest guys next week. They're then going to have a bye, and then they're going to play. They'll play the winner of the Cowboys and Arizona, which I don't know about you, Richie. Cowboys lost to Arizona today. It meant way more to Arizona. You could tell until the second half, when they got going in the second half, and there was some momentum, and the Cowboys almost stole it from them. Cowboys looked uninterested for the first half, completely uninterested. Prescott was dreadful. Michael Gallup did his ACL, which is really bad news for a Super Bowl run. But Cedric Wilson came in and played quite well. So they dropped. Arizona needed that win, though. They were on a 3-game slide. They were they're still in the division race right now. They could win next week, and the Rams could lose, which would be awesome. The Eagles clinched because someone else won, very similar to the Cowboys last week. So they're 9-7. They've clinched the 6 or 7 seed. The Bucks play. Let's have a look at who they will play next week. The Bucks have the Panthers. I expect
Panthers.
them to win.
Yeah. Well, the division's sewn up anyway, and we can't get the 1 seed. So
they'll play. It doesn't really matter now who gets what seed out of the 2, 3, and 4. I genuinely think no one wants the 4 seed. As a Cowboys fan, I actually would want Arizona. I wouldn't mind Arizona coming back into Dallas, into Texas Stadium next week.
Because you rarely lose to them twice. That's why.
And we're not going to have that same energy again. We're not going to give them a head start. They're really dinged up, Arizona. Now, I think Arizona are the best wildcard team. Don't get me wrong, but I would prefer them than the Eagles. Like, I don't want to play playoffs.
Well, you don't, because they're a division team. Yeah. Everyone else in the playoffs would love to see the Eagles come into town.
The other team I wouldn't want, and I think, I don't think who do the Saints play next week? Probably someone crap, they play the Falcons. They'll win. The 49ers play the Rams. The Saints could still sneak in. They would. They're just so bad. Like, I would prefer the Falcons to make it in than the Saints, and they can't. But the Rams the Saints are terrible. Good defense.
The Saints are the only team left alive, right? Who sort of aren't in a seed right now. Right. Hang on. What do they need?
They need to beat the Falcons, and they need the 49ers to lose. That's the only thing that can happen. The Eagles are clinched. Everyone else is in, but the 7 seed. The Saints would need the 49. Like, the Saints could make it. The Saints could win next week. Like, the Saints should beat the Falcons next week. And then the 49ers play the Rams, right? And I guarantee you they're playing at the same time. What time we've got the 8:25 game? And then you've got the Seahawks and the Cardinals playing the 8:25 games. Those 2 games are going to be playing simultaneously. The Rams will want to win that, because they can still, if Rams lose and Cardinals win the division, and then, like, you want to play at home. Like, you want to play a home playoff game. No one wants to play a road playoff game. Although the Cardinals are like 8-1 or 7-1 on the road this year, which is insane. But the Rams will want to win that game, and the 49ers basically have to win to get in. If they lose, they need the Saints to lose. Otherwise, they're out. We could very well have the Saints in the playoffs. Like, shit. What a world. I don't see the Cardinals losing to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are fucking terrible.
No, I don't see that either. Like, not in any world. And it's at Cardinals too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be able to go to the Eagles and beat them?
Well, it depends what we do here. Like, there is nothing in that game for either team. Nothing. The Eagles have clinched. The Cowboys are clinched. And the Cowboys are the Sunday. This is the thing. The Cowboys are the Sunday game. So they're not going to know any results. It's kind of smart. They've made them the day before, so there's no other results known. So the Cowboys could win, right? They can't catch. The best they can get is to the 2 seed. The Buccaneers, as you said, the Rams could very well lose. The Buccaneers play the Panthers. I think how it works out, Buccaneers beat the Panthers. They go and become the 2 seed. I don't know if the Cowboys care. Like, I don't think you should want to go into the playoffs on a loss. That's the only thing. Like, Prescott was pretty bad today till the second half. The Eagles aren't that good a team. But then what's more detrimental? Do you rest all your guys, lose, and then say to yourself, look, we played our backups. Who cares? Or do you play, and what if you lose playing all your starters? What if Prescott has another bad game?
Yeah.
And then you're going in with even shitter momentum.
But that's sort of what I'm talking about. Do you guys want to lose 2 games going into the playoffs against 2 other playoff teams? It's not a great look.
I think they rest any single player that is niggly in any sort of way. I would say Zeke doesn't play. I would say Dak doesn't play. Tyrone Smith will not play. I'd almost guarantee it. I think Zach Martin will play because he's that sort of dude. But I don't think Micah Parsons will play. Or if he does, he'll play sparingly. You know, I wouldn't play Lawrence, guys that are injury prone. I wouldn't play Lawrence. I wouldn't play Randy Gregory. I just wouldn't play these guys because the last thing you want is them to get a niggly injury, then they can't play the playoff. And they're guys who have those issues. Like Leighton Vander Esch. I wouldn't play him. This is the first time he's going to play a full season in his 4-year career. You do not want that guy to be dinged up. He's played well. You know, Keanu O'Neal's out for COVID. So, you know, they don't have that other middle. Like, I honestly think the smarter thing to do, and I think the Eagles will do the same, is just go in and be like, we're just going to play our backups. And just both teams' backups play, and whoever wins. Who cares? That's the smarter thing to do. I think that's what they'll do, which means let's just say the Cowboys lose. It's division games. We beat them earlier. Let's just say they split because we always go off splits. The Cowboys will then finish the 4. I think the Rams will lose to the 49ers. I have a real feeling about it. This is what you pay guys like Stafford and, you know, Odell Beckham. This is what you're paying Cooper Kupp. I think they lose. No, I'm an idiot. They don't lose. They win. They lock in the 2 seed. The top 4 stays the same. Arizona wins. They stay as the 5 seed. And then you've got Eagles. And then I think the 49ers lose. I think the Saints make the playoffs. I think the Saints beat the Falcons and the 49ers lose and the Saints make the playoffs. And the 49ers lose out. They don't have Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, lunch tray was terrible today. Don't get confused. He was awful.
And that's the thing. The Rams want this because they want the division. They want to play that playoff game at home.
They want the Eagles at home, which is what they'll get as the 2 seed. You'll either get the Eagles or the Saints at home. You want Taysom Hill and Jalen Hurts coming in? Or do you want to...
yeah. Yes, please.
Or do you want to finish as the 5 seed and go to Cowboy Stadium? I'm telling you, I know people don't think the Cowboys are that good, but on their day, they'll beat anyone. I'm telling you right now, they just can't string it together right now. And I'm the biggest hater of the Cowboys ever. Like, I barrack from it. I can't stand them. Like,
They've still got 11. They've still got 11 wins.
Yeah,
they're a good football team. They're a good football team.
They're as good as everyone but the Packers. Like, I tend to think, unless the Packers shit the bed somehow, they win this. They win the NFC. In the cold weather, in Lambeau, I just don't see how it happens.
Any of the division winners, plus whichever of the West team doesn't win, every single one of those teams would not surprise me if they made it to the Super Bowl in the NFC. That's how strongly I feel about the NFC right now. Yeah,
the top 5:
Packers, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Cardinals.
Yep,
any of them. I can see any of them making it.
Eagles and Niners. Eagles, Niners, or Saints. I'd be shocked if they. Oh, I think the Niners are actually the best team out of the wild cards. I honestly do. Other than Arizona,
they're probably gonna miss out.
Yeah, unless they beat the Rams. Like, the smart thing for the NFL would be to rig it so their 49ers win. You don't want Taysom Hill flinging it in the playoffs. Honestly.
Well, at least the whole quarterback room can't get COVID again. We don't have to have another Notre Dame quarterback coming in.
All right. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I did it with the AFC. I'll predict my finishings. Obviously, Packers 1. I think Rams 2, Bucks 3, Cowboys 4, Cardinals 5, Eagles 6, and unfortunately, just because I think the Rams are going to beat the 49ers and I think the Saints are going to beat the Falcons, like the Falcons are pretty bad too. I think the Saints make the playoff and the 49ers miss out. I don't want that to happen. I would much prefer the 49ers to be in the playoffs, get Jimmy Garoppolo back. But again, division games, it wouldn't shock me. What would be the best thing to happen is the 49ers beat the Rams get the wild card, or Arizona lose too, and then it stays the same, but the 49ers come in. That's my dream scenario.
Is there any way the 49ers... So they mustn't have the tiebreaker with the Saints. Like, is that... Sorry, so they mustn't have that tiebreaker then.
Look, because if they had the tiebreaker, Saints 8-8, they're 9-7. If they had the tiebreaker, they'd be in.
They'd already be in.
It's like a mathematic thing. Or it's like if the Seahawks win and if the Cowboys win, then the Saints miss out or something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the exact scenario for the...
Saints playoff push. How can the Saints clinch playoffs? New Orleans Saints is 1 game behind Philadelphia and San Fran. Philly have clinched though, final playoff spot, but lose head-to-head tiebreaker to the Eagles. That's why they've clinched. The Saints clinch a playoff berth with a win over the Falcons and a 49ers loss to the Rams.
Just as simple as that.
That's why the Eagles have clinched, because they are in the tiebreaker, because the Eagles beat the Saints. Or have a better conference record, whatever it is. It's insane. It's insane. It's
got to be conference record, because there's articles saying that the 49ers have to avoid multiple way ties because the tiebreakers change.
Yeah. There you go. So that's it. That's with the NFC. Richie, how have you got it ending up?
Pretty much as you do. I just can't see how. I think the Rams are going to want it. I think it's more important to the Rams. I also just think they're a better team than the 49ers. As you said, lunch tray is awful.
This is what you pay Matthew Stafford for. This is why you made this trade. Cooper Kupp's a bona fide superstar. Odell Beckham scored a touchdown again this week. He's not back, but he's super productive in that offense. He's picked it up very quickly, and he's been productive. So you can't argue that. Cam Akers is back playing. Do you know that? He tore his ACL in the preseason, and he's back playing. Surely not on his kicking leg. No, you're thinking of David Akers.
Oh, David Akers.
That is the funniest thing you've ever done. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Oh man, I rarely make those mistakes. That's a good one.
Is the old Philadelphia Eagles kicker.
I'm channeling my best DJ. I just heard Akers and went straight for the joke.
Oh my god. So Cam Akers is the Rams running back that was a second round pick last year. That was a really good rookie. He's playing after. It's even more impressive. A running back's back, and I don't know what his kicking leg is, so I can't tell you if it's his kicking leg or not. That's gold. I'm actually gonna, for the first time ever, do a clip and release that, because that is fucking terrific, Richie. You know what? Thank you, Richie. I needed that today. I needed that. Back to work tomorrow. I needed that boost.
I got to go back too.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the playoffs. I think we're pretty comfortable with how it works out. I want the 49ers in, but I said I don't see the Rams losing. I just think they're too good. They're way better. They've got 2 of the best defensive players in the NFL and a really good quarterback, really good receiver group. Cooper Kupp's going to be offensive player of the year. Like, his stats are unbelievable. We actually need to look at the record. He had another 100-yard games today. He broke the Rams single-yard receiving record. So let's just see. Receptions record he broke. This is going to play. No, it's muted. 21. Another week, another record. Rams single-season franchise record. Most receiving yards. He overtook Torrey Holt. It's not a bad couple of guys to overtake. Cupper's put together one of the best seasons ever, catching 100. He has 1,801 yards. Jesus. Wasn't it 1,806? Oh no, he's miles off. So he has 1,801 yards.
Isn't there 1,900?
Yeah, Kelvin Johnson had 1,964 yards. And then you've got Julio Jones who had 1,871, Jerry Rice who had 1,848, and Antonio Brown who had 1,834. So he is at this point. He is at this point. He overtook Isaac Bruce for fifth all time. So he's fifth all time now. I think he breaks out. I think he finishes second, but that's a lot of yards. Like, do you reckon they just try and feed him and give him a 150-yard game?
You could. I mean, 150 is not out of the question, but the big thing for the Rams is winning is more important.
Yeah, you don't want to.
They're not going out of their way to do it.
He would have to do it genuine. He'd have to genuinely just have a huge day, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's not like, was it Tom Brady last year who was passing to guys to get them their bonus in the regular season?
Yeah, that was, and you know what?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's not like that situation. They have to win.
Yeah,
they got to win the division. You do not want to be a wild card team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Interesting though. That's something to look at. Let's just quickly look. We don't have to go too long into this, Richie. Monday Night Football, Browns at Steelers. Steelers are still in playoff contention. I don't understand how they're 7-1. They would have to have a lot.
Game in hand. They got to win out. They got two wins. They got a game in hand.
They can finish 9-7-1. So okay, I've worked it out, Richie. The Chargers and the Raiders would have to tie. It's the only way. They would have to finish 9-7-1 as well, and then the Steelers would jump them. That's it. So it's not going to happen. The Steelers are not mathematically eliminated, but they are all but finished. And you know what? I really couldn't be happier that we don't have to watch that absolute clusterfuck of a team in the playoffs. Could not be happier. Have you seen that apparently the Steelers are getting Aaron Rodgers? Have you seen that? Yeah.
No way.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers leaves now. I genuinely think they win the Super Bowl this year. I really do.
They got every chance. I can't see him going to, like, that's not a better situation. It's a better organization, but it's not a better situation.
I think it is. They're a much better defense, and if they're healthy,
they're not a better offense though. The defense difference isn't that much.
Not as good. Offensive line's not as good. The defense is really good. Steelers defense got a lot of good players. Like TJ Watt's a superstar. I don't know. Interesting. I don't think it happens. I don't think Rodgers leaves. Apparently, they're a lot happier now. He came out a couple of weeks ago. It might have been this week, and said that he realized that communication goes both ways too, and that he could have done a better job trying to communicate his problems too, instead of just pouting about it. And he's had that discussion with the GM and the owners and all that sort of stuff, or the board. They don't have owners. So that's cool. I think he stays. I think he's a full career player in Green Bay personally. I don't think it happens. And I think they've got a very good chance of, like, they can't they can't lose an NFC Championship game again, surely. Just on statistics alone, that can't happen to you again at home.
Well, it can, but yes, I hear what you're saying.
But that's not the story. Browns, Steelers. I'm taking the Browns. Fuck Pittsburgh. Who are you taking?
I think the Browns are so beat up. Now they got nothing to play for. I actually don't think they can win this. I think the Steelers probably will. It's the last home game for Big Ben. I think it's
at your head.
Sorry?
I'm waiting for Lacey to throw a bottle at you.
She probably agrees.
I picked the Browns because I have faith, unlike you.
Yeah. I just don't think they got enough to play for, as the Steelers at least have a bit of pride to play for Big Ben's last home game.
Just early prediction, Browns will bounce back next year. Big as well. This happens.
Me too.
Teams tend to flop before they find themselves again. They'll either flop and then stay down and it will be a disaster, which I hope doesn't happen, or they'll bounce back and they'll be better next year. They'll be better for what's happened to them this year.
I actually think they're too well run now for that to happen.
Well coached, well managed. GM's great. Is it who's the GM? Berry? Andrew Berry?
Berry. Yep.
Yeah. They're very well run. They're very well run, some would say, Rich.
Oh, hilarious.
On that note, let's get out of here. I want to thank the sponsors, J&D's Breaks Down Under. Let me just grab this awesome helmet again. For our patrons, if you're one of our patrons, Randy White signed helmet. Sorry, the plastic's in there. It's a bit hard to see, but Randy White signed Hall of Fame 94. He was an absolute superstar defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a really cool helmet, Eclipse helmet, so it's dark with the logo. One of my favorite styles, to be honest. It's a ripper mini. Thank you to Jake and Darren from J&D's Breaks Down Under. They're absolute champions. Also, ussportsgear.com.au. Seasons are starting to kick off in Victoria. You need some gear. Get on there, get it sorted. You want a replica college helmet, get on there, get yourself something, ussportsgear.com.au. Dark Horse Electrics, get around our man Dylan, who's most likely going to have a box of beer for me to drop off this week. Get around Dylan, support him, best electrician in Melbourne, hands down. And also, Burnley Brewing. I'm not having a beer tonight because it's last day of holidays before work tomorrow, and I've had way too many the last few weeks, so I'm having a night off. But thank you to Burnley Brewing for supporting the show. We love your work, Richie. I will bring you a box of Burnley Brewings tomorrow night to football training because we are back at training, getting ready to play in 2 weeks' time. So cannot wait. Big few weeks. Playoffs are coming up. Our football starting, Richie. So that'll be really exciting. You'll probably see me with a bit more bruised and banged up and limping around if I stand up to walk. So that'll be fun for everyone. But can't wait. Richie, thank you for being here, mate. Thank you as always. Hope you had a good New Year. Hope you made it till midnight. I did not. I fell asleep.
No?
I was in isolation, so I couldn't do anything.
No, fair enough.
Close contact. I didn't get COVID, so don't worry. I was fine. Everyone else has got it, though. So
that sure seems that way.
Everyone's got it at the moment. So stay safe. If you get COVID, just get some tissues. You'll be absolutely fine. I promise you, unless you're unvaccinated. Then run your own race, kids. Thank you, Richie. I will see you next week.
See you, mate.